Hi everyone, it's Marianne. Spring is coming and I know you're excited to take care of your houseplants for the upcoming growing season, and you're probably excited to repot them like I do. So in this video, I'm going to share with you my tips on repotting your plants this spring. Thank you so much for joining me today, and one of my favorite activities in the plant hobby is repotting my plants because it's just so therapeutic. And I've been a plant enthusiast for 5 years now, almost. So there's things I've learned along the way when it comes to repotting your plants, what works and what doesn't, and what is the best time to do it and how to do it so that you ensure that your plants would grow beautifully this upcoming growing season. But before I get started, if you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Marianne. I do in-home and garden content on my YouTube channel and in my YouTube shorts, as well as personal and travel vlogs here and there. So if that type of content interests you, make sure to subscribe to my channel before the end of this video, and make sure to like and comment down below. I would love to hear from you. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So my first tip in repotting your plants is to make sure you have your supplies. And one of the important supplies when it comes to repotting your plants is having planters. And as you can see here, I have a box. This is from Repot. I've worked with them a few times over on Amazon to promote some of their planters. So let me unbox it and show you what they sent me. So I took the planters out of the box and let me share them with you. I really like their planters. They're very high quality made, and this one is no exception. This is made with durable ceramic. It is handmade and it's made to withstand a lot of conditions. And this comes in 6-inch, 8-inch, and 10-inch planters, which is great. So you could put like a variety of sizes of plants in them. And if you have planters lying around that you could reuse, go ahead and reuse them. But if you are in the market for a new set of planters, I highly recommend this one from Repot. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm working with them over on Amazon. They are not sponsoring this YouTube video, but if you go to the video description, you can find the link for this set of 3 planters. And if you use my affiliate link to purchase these planters, I do earn a small commission from the Amazon affiliate program. And the next repotting supply is optional, but it's great to have, especially when you're repotting plants indoors. But you'd always make do with what you have. Cardboard boxes, plastic bags, garbage bags, even newspapers, and it's an indoor potting mat. So this one I got from Amazon. I also previously did a DIY if you want to DIY it yourself, but honestly, for the cost of materials, DIY it or to just buy it over on Amazon is pretty much the same price. But if you already have the materials at home, then just make it yourself. And this was sent to me also by Amazon as a free sample. So if you want to check it out, I also have the affiliate link down in the description. But it's very easy to use. Basically, you just have to snap the 4 corners together with a clasp button, and there you have it. You have a mat for indoor repotting. So this is great to just keep the mess in one section, and cleanup is easy as well. And this one is also waterproof, so in case you spill water, you're not spilling water on your carpet or on your hardwood floor. It just makes it easier, especially if you're repotting plants indoors and you can't repot outdoors. And this one comes with these 3 tools, which is very cute, like these 2 shovels and like a mini rake. Honestly, when I'm repotting my plants, I just rely on my hands or even sometimes use a spoon. You could also get a trowel from the Dollar Tree if you really want one. But when you purchase this, it comes with this one too. So it's also great tools to have when you are repotting your plants. And if you'd like some gardening gloves, especially if you want to protect your hands or if you have your nails done, I would highly recommend using gardening gloves. And of course, soil. You're going to need soil for your houseplants or whatever medium that you want to use for your houseplants. I have videos on creating your own potting mix if you'd like, but the ones that you can buy from the garden center is fine as well. But really all you need for repotting plants is your planters and soil and your hands, and of course your plants. So when should you repot your houseplants? Honestly, you could repot your plants anytime you want for whatever reason. So you don't really need one to repot your plants. But here are some indications when your plants do need repotting. A common reason to repot your houseplants is your plant being root bound. A plant that is root bound is basically when you pull your plant out of the pot, you see more roots than there is soil, and you can kind of see that the roots are pretty much strangled and suffocated inside the pot, and you need to upgrade the size of planter that they're in. But you could also very well keep a root bound plant in the same planter for a long period of time. It might just need more frequent watering for you and more times that you need to fertilize the plant. And some plants do prefer being root bound as opposed to being in a bigger planter that often cause them to have root rot or just die out if you put them in a much bigger planter when they really prefer to be more root bound. This plant that I'm currently repotting has been in its original nursery pot for over a year now. So as you can see, when I pulled it out, it is root bound, particularly on the top half. The largest size of the Litachi planter is the perfect size for it because it gives it just enough room to grow, because I do find that this type of plant likes to be a little bit root bound. And also the size of it is perfect for me not risking overwatering it and cause root rot to the plant. I also did not disturb the root ball. Other people like to do that, but for me, it just lessens the transplant shock when I'm repotting the plant. So I just choose not to disturb the root ball. Just add some extra soil to fill in the spaces and the gaps in the planter and on the top. And I'm just dressing it with pistachio shells. You could use anything you'd like to put as top dressing for your house plant. And this is the Ficus lyrata now in the largest planter of the Litachi planter set. Second reason to repot a plant is you have a plant like this that is kind of like already flopping all over. The medium that it's in or the size of pot it's in is no longer supporting the weight of the plant. As with the case with this white princess philodendron, it grew two different stems and it's already becoming top heavy and it's always like keep flopping around and it's not really holding much weight already. I'm going to be propagating and repotting this white princess philodendron into the 6-inch planter, which is the smallest one from the Litauchi planter set. I'm cutting off the first stem and removing a leaf or two to expose the nodes. And I'm making sure that the mesh net is covering the drainage hole before I put a layer of soil at the bottom. And I'm going to be taking out the plant from its nursery pot. The roots seems to be good, like the ficus lyrata. I'm not disturbing the root ball. And I did cut the second one, but don't worry, new leaves is going to grow from that one that's still attached to the root ball. I could very well put these two cuttings into water to propagate it, but for hardier plants like this one, it is okay to do a direct soil propagation. So what I'm doing is I'm just filling up the rest of the planter with soil, leaving an inch or two at the top to not overfill it. As you can see, I stopped where the paint has stopped on the planter, which makes it a good guide. And I'm just sticking the two cuttings into the soil and it would eventually grow roots into the soil. And that's how I'm propagating and repotting this white princess philodendron in this Litauchi planter. Another reason that you might want to repot your plants is to allow it room to grow. This Ficus tenikii is doing pretty okay in this ceramic planter. It would probably be fine if I kept it in there. And what I like about upgrading it into this planter is I could bury more of the stem and allow more roots to grow to give it a sturdier base. So that way it will help it grow bigger faster as well. And I'm also just aerating the soil to make sure that there's enough aeration in the soil and I'm not overly compacting it, but still giving the plant enough of a strong base and foundation so that it doesn't topple over, because this is a pretty tall plant. And I'm just going to fill it up with a little bit more soil. And that is pretty much it. Another reason to be repotting your plant is if you have a propagation that is ready to be transferred into a soil medium. This one is a papaya plant that I grew from seed and I've been growing it hydroponically. And for it to grow into a much bigger plant, I need to transfer it to soil because I don't think growing it hydroponically would provide it with all the nutrients and stability it needs to grow into a large sturdy plant, hopefully into a tree. So I am transferring it over into a soil medium. So transferring a plant that's been growing in water or hydroponically is a bit tricky. It might cause you to lose the plant. So it's always good to have the plant already have a good established root system before you do transfer it into a soil medium. I decided against transplanting the papaya because I don't think it's ready for soil yet, but here are some of my water propagations that are ready for soil repotting. First is the ZZ plant. As you can see, it has already grown a new rhizome, so that is ready for soil. This Hoya polyneura, it could use a little bit more root growth, so not repotting that yet. This Syngonium is definitely ready for soil. It has tons of primary roots and secondary roots, so it's definitely ready. As well as this Ficus Audrey, it has long primary roots and secondary roots as well. So this one we are repotting into soil, but we're not repotting it into a big planter. I'm starting it off in a small nursery pot. This is a 4-inch plastic pot. So I'm just repotting it like I would an ordinary plant. I am giving it a cash bow. This would help it retain moisture for a bit longer and also help give it a little bit more humidity within the cash bow. A lot of aftercare needs to be given to plants that have been transferred from water into soil, so it is important to monitor them closely after repotting them into soil. After transferring them from water into soil, I place them in my indoor greenhouse so that they have the optimal condition to withstand transplant shock and also adjust from being in water into soil. So I have my Ficus Audrey in there. I have this philodendron that has been propagating there for a while, and a papaya, a couple more that I also transplanted into soil. But as you can see, the other one I did keep in its hydroponic setup because I just want to give it more time to grow in that setup before I transplant it. I don't think it was ready to be transplanted in water yet. So by keeping them here, they will be able to adjust into their new medium and grow into a plant of its own. So those are my tips for repotting your plants this spring. And if you have any questions or comments or suggestions when it comes to repotting your plants, please do share them down below. I would be happy to answer them, or other viewers and subscribers of this channel might also want to share their knowledge with you. I would love that if you could learn from each other. But as also mentioned, if you have planters that you could reuse and if you want to improvise when it comes to your indoor potting mat, you definitely can. You don't have to purchase this, but if you're interested, I do have my Amazon affiliate link down in the description, and you can also find other gardening tools in my Amazon storefront if you are interested. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new here, please do subscribe. I come up with home and garden videos as well as personal and travel vlogs here and there. And if you haven't yet, go check out these videos until my next one. But until then, I see you, I appreciate you. Take care of yourself and each other, and have a plentiful day. Bye.